Shalom Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Makakwadash, double one to the apostles and the elder great millstone, and Shalom to like I've did, doing this work of faith, labor of love, and true sincerity. All right, now I want to get into this topic here, based upon Abraham, his deeds, and, just briefly touching on his walk, All right, and this is the book of Galatians, chapter 3, verse verse um verse 6, and it says, even as Abraham believed, and it was accounted to him for righteousness. Know ye therefore that they which are of faith, the same are the children of Abraham. And because Abraham, he was tested like something like none other, to be called, to be called, by a spiritual entity, which is the Lord that called them. Just hearing His voice, and just trusting the Lord, trusting the process, and to actually leave the home that you've owned, the home that you've only known your whole entire life, and just to walk away from it. That's faith, that's belief. That's something that no one can truly take away from you when you go through an experience like that, or certain experiences in which brothers have went through, and the Lord have been there for us. The Lord showed us the way, the Lord carried us through those situations. It's things like that no one can take away from us. And when it comes to hardships or certain times of despair, you got to dig back and think upon those times, how the Lord pulled us through. As the Lord pulled uh, the men of old through various situations as well. um, Verse 8, and it says, and the scripture foreseeing that the Most High would justify the heathen through faith. And that's just referring to us, not the other nations. Preached before the gospel unto Abraham, saying, in thee shall all nations be blessed. So when they which be of faith are blessed with faithful Abraham, for as many as are of the works of the law are under the curse. Uh, for it is written, curses every one that continueth not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them, but that no man is justified by the law in the sight of the Most High. It is evident, for the just shall live by faith. And the law is not of faith, but the man that doeth them shall live in them. Because, like I said, Abraham, him just being, that prime example, And we know before, there had to be a written law. Obviously there was an oral law. So what did that law require? That law required faith. You know, that's the biggest thing of it. That moral law required faith, because to anyone else, you know, to anyone else, it's going to seem like, um, you just walked out on a limb. You walked out on a limb to follow the Lord, so on and so forth. But us, we know it's not we walking on a limb. We know we're truly walking by faith, by something in which we trust in, by someone in who we trust in. You know, that's what they were considered at within the world's time. you know, and that's one of the most important things to let you know. Like, how they say, in order to know where you're going, you have to know where you're from or know where you've been or something like that. And once again, Abraham, how did he start? He didn't start, you know, uh, he didn't start with laws being written down on paper. You know, he started by faith. He started with that oral law. He walked by faith. That was his natural way of being. It's us, you know, uh, his children down the line, you know, that the law was given to, you know. But now we have to dig back into, you know, the essence of things. Even though we have the law, we have to follow the law to the best of our ability. But ultimately, what we under that grace, and in that faith, that the Lord has gave to us, we go back to the essence of how our forefather Abraham did it, man. You know, focusing on that, and everything will fall into place because that's the way the Lord intended it to be. And because things are supposed to naturally click to us through our walk of faith and this labor of love in which we do. Things should naturally just click automatically because as you living into the law and certain learning certain things about the law, and we practicing our faith daily, putting that faith in the Lord first above all things, then all things just naturally start to click, and it just becomes a purity that's in you that no one can take, a purity, that's sound, that's whole, that's unwavering. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. Um, um, now I want to jump down to mm, yeah, this is verse 18 says, "For if the inheritance be of the law, it is no more of promise, but the Most High gave it to Abraham by promise. Wherefore then serveth the law? It was added because of transgression." Right? So the law was added because of what? Transgression. That's why the law was added. To the seed should come to whom the promise was made, and it was ordained by angels in the hand of a mediator. Now, a mediator is not a mediator of love, but the Most High is one. And so, like as I was saying, our our father Abraham, our forefather Abraham, he walked by faith. That's how he lived. Then the law wasn't ultimately inherited by us through what? Through transgression. And as a guide, for us as a people, you know, and the laws and the statutes, the commandments, and everything we follow clearly separates us from the rest of the heathen who don't have the same type of morals that we have. Who's not built up of the same makeup, that we have, or the natural zest, the natural flavor of life, the natural zest of things that how we have. They not built like us. We're built completely different. You know, we are complete really, how they say, cut from a different cloth. We are truly cut from a different cloth. You know, truly cut from a different cloth. And it says, what was I at? Now a mediator is not a mediator of one, but Yahweh is one. Is the law then against the promises of the Most High? The Most High forbid, Yahweh forbid. For if there had been a law given which could have given life, verily righteousness should have been by the law. But the Scripture have concluded all under sin, that the promise by faith of Yahweh might be given to them that believe. But before faith came, we were kept under the law, shut up unto the faith which should afterwards be revealed. Because, you know, for us, we truly didn't know faith because we had the law. You know, we truly didn't know faith like that because we had the laws. And that's what people were living by. But now that faith was just brought back from the essence, you know, and being revealed unto us for the very first time, you know. Even though we did have belief in things like that, but now it's like you truly, everything you do is completely based off of faith. It's not just based off of the law. It's not just based off of, okay, I did wrong, I'm gonna sacrifice this goat, I'm gonna sacrifice this animal. Now it's truly living off faith how we're supposed to, you know, because that's the way the Most High intended it to. Because that brings the hope, that brings the patience, that brings the longing for something that's much more greater than yourself, So, with that, I hope this segment was edifying, and I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakwadash, the Bawanas to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to like out there doing this work of faith and labor of love, true sincerity. Shalom.